everyone's here, and you're in various states of injury. You have that horrific encounter just behind you. What do?
I think we left off saying that we were walking back to town.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
you
getting
left.
drunk
Okay.
immediately.
Okay.
I think walking is putting it politely.
Yeah.
So
Dragging
yeah,
mangled
Limping.
carcasses.
you carry yourselves back into town. Soma pretty much immediately says, "You'll find me at the Crook's Nook."
Yep.
Takes off. What are the others gonna do? I mean, it's not even noon. It wasn't really a full day of adventuring.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Ottardo is going to ask. What's his name? Augrael. Augrael. He's going to ask Augrael, where are you staying?
Yeah, so I'm just remembering everything that I remember. Ottardo saved Augrael,
Right.
even though Augrael was going to sacrifice himself. So he's incredibly shook up. And I think in town he had. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry, man, but we should tell Ali about that scene because that was pretty major for the character development. So yeah, do you remember the details of it? I'll let you tell it.
Yeah. So this creature was it seemed like one of its things is it seemed to really relish and like take delight in the torture and like fed off fear. And the thought was we just need one person to stay back. I think maybe it was what's your character? Lucca had some sort of inkling that he just needed one person to stay back as sacrifice. And Augrael like volunteered more or less. He was in a position for it and told them to run, but Ottardo didn't listen and came back and saved him with these critical successes on these athletic checks to free him from this like stasis that he was in.
Yeah, you were getting stuck to the floor.
Right. It was
Feed some
ectoplasmic web that was anchoring you in place, making it impossible for you to leave. And then Ottardo charged in, said, I'm gonna try to pull him out," and it was basically impossible. But a critical success made it happen, and so Augrael was saved by Ottardo, no less.
Great heroics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think when Ottardo asked him where he's staying, Augrael's like, well, I was at the Crook's Nook. It's okay, but why do you ask?
Have you had chicken before?
Augrael thinks, I don't know. I don't remember. Definitely not down in the vault, but yeah, I don't think so.
Well, I guess we know what's for lunch.
Yeah, and Augrael's probably like not really left to Tardo's side. Like he hasn't. I mean, gratitude is a new emotion for him, probably given his time in the vault. So he's just sort of sticking by him, trying to figure out what to do, how to repay him. So he'll definitely tag along wherever he's like a little dog at his feet, you know.
All right. So where do you take him? Or is it going to be a home cooked meal?
Well, whatever inn would have lunch at this time.
Yeah, the Crook's Nook for sure. The Rowdy Rockfish too, probably. So your call. You could just join Soma, who's already.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Okay. All right. How about Lucca and Birke? Are you gonna tag along?
Birke, not yet, because Birke is intrigued, and she's got the bibliophile background. And from what we heard Augrael say about this, it feeds on fear and what little things she started piecing together. she figures a little more information on the creature might be in order. So I'd like to, take a page from my background and go with Morlbint, because he's a good friend. And I'll go to Odd Stories and see if I can find any book, tome, manuscript, paper, gossip, pamphlet on the creature to better prepare myself for next time we meet.
All right.
And I'm showing up like looking a mess.
Mhm. Yeah, so Morlobin, when you walk in and the invisible chime jingles at the door, he barely even looks up and he says, "Oh, it's Birke. Long time no see. Did you?" And then he finally like closes the book and looks up, looks over the edge of his glasses at you, and he says, "Oh, um, please try to not dribble any liquids on the books."
Burgess does going like, oh yeah, sorry. Like trying to wipe away with like a very bloodstained or like dirty rag. I'm really sorry, Morburn, to show up like this, but you would not believe the morning we've had.
I can tell, I can tell. It looks like you've been delving into the Gauntlight again, haven't you? Well, did you find any more books of interest for me?
Did I?
I'm not sure if you do you guys still have any?
I think we
I
turned
think
them
we
all
did
in
bring
last
something
time.
back. I can't remember.
That would be the
I guess
time
like,
to.
didn't have the chance yet, but Morburn, we found something down there. Stranger than anything else we've ever seen. A withering mass of ectoplasm, eyes everywhere, claws lashing out of us, feeding on our despair and fear. Does anything ring a bell?
Ectoplasm and claws and but that sounds fascinating. Of course. Well, you know your way around. Feel free to look anything up you like, but maybe take a bath first if you don't mind.
Okay, I'm gonna go get myself patched up, and if you can think of any tomes or anything, or any area to look, I'll be back later when a bit more presentable.
I will pull some titles that come to mind for you by the time you're back. And then, yeah.
And I take like still like a copy of one of those like cheesy novels that are like what are they called, like dime novels or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like one of the guilty pleasures Morvin and I share, like in this like
Mm-hmm.
the one that has the cover with like the flowing hair and it's like, oh, and did you get the
Yep.
new one of those? Yep, I'm gonna
You
pocket it.
grab one of those to go, and he says, "Oh yeah, this one's a good one. Did you know she has a twin?"
I knew it, a twin. Oh, say no more. Say no more. And
Oh, I already said too
excitedly,
much. I'm sorry.
excitedly go and rejoin the group.
All right. You rejoin the group, or you go and clean up and come
Yeah,
back to research?
I want to get cleaned up
Okay.
and then get
Do
lunch.
some research. Okay. All right. Um. Okay. So what are the others? What do the others intend to do? So basically, for Birker, that means she spends the afternoon at Odd Stories, trying to do some research on this thing. In broad strokes, how are the others going to spend the rest of the day?
Well, Soma, she will be changed into more casual outfit and basically task the kitchen with delivering her a lot of comfort food. So she will spend at least a few hours processing the events, and I think this she will take this well this disaster as a prompt for her to come to an idea of busting out Carmen. She will later bring this to attention of maybe on evening.
Okay. When you finally do that, she'll like listen to you and raise an eyebrow, and she'll go like, "The Ace of Blades himself needs someone to come to his rescue, huh?"
So
Well, I certainly wouldn't mind seeing him be embarrassed about this and having him in my debt. Well, tempting. Not that I would, and then she like looks around. Not that I would have any interest or means to do anything illegal like that. And then she lowers her head again and says, I'll keep it in mind. And continues to serve her patrons. How about the others?
Ottardo is going to show Augrael about all the wonders of roasted chicken and salt and pepper. And afterwards, he'll just spend the afternoon patching himself up and whoever needs medication.
Me.
Right, but you're
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think for Agro's part, he is just hanging out. He's like following Ottardo around. He's trying to come to terms with what happened and like figuring out what he's gonna do next. Like he's thinking about some way he could pay him back, most likely, but he doesn't. He's just in shock probably at the moment.
I think Lucca is probably hanging out with Augrael and Ottardo, but he's kind of being like uncharacteristically quiet behind his mask.
All right. So you spend a mostly quiet afternoon at the Crook's Nook until it is time to settle down and get ready to get some rest for the night. Ottardo does his best to patch everyone up. I would assume that he probably checks in on Birke before it's time to retreat for the night.
Yeah.
Right, because that's the kind of guy he is. Is there any reason not to just set everyone back to full health, or do we need to walk through the minutia of
I think we can just bump everything. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm at full health anyway.
Right. So then anyone who is not at full health can just recover your hit points. And let's see what Birke found out that afternoon. So Molibund set out a couple of books for you. They are all, they're kind of like talking about ghosts and because you mentioned ectoplasm and aberrations and things like that. So they might be helpful, but it'll definitely take a lot of browsing and a lot of reading and a lot of interpreting to make sense of a creature or to find any reference to a creature that you don't even know really anything about.
Standard bibliographic procedure.
Yes. So I will give you a bonus on that roll, but let me check your skills if I can see. Oh, hold on. I had moved you out of the party for that session, and now there you are. Let me see your skills.
Do I regain hit points, you said?
Yeah, you can set yourself back to full hit points because before it's time to retreat for the night, Ottardo comes calling and make sure that you're properly healed as best as he can. Occultism. Okay, yeah. So give me an occultism check. All right. So, so nothing in the books specifically describes this creature. You find references to various other things and by kind of like cross-referencing the books that you have here, you're starting to move away from the idea that you were dealing with a ghost because you realize that all you based this on was on the ectoplasm aspect of that creature. and you're pretty sure that you were dealing with an aberration. So it would be a fully
Less
physical.
spectral.
Yeah, it would be a fully physical creature, not a spectral creature. That it was able to summon this like web of ectoplasm is certainly strange, and nothing in these books describes an aberration that could do this. Um, but it was weird. Also, what was weird was the way that it relished the fear of its victim. So give me a second here. I have to look something up real quick. Yes. You find a description of a different creature that has similar behavior, that feeds on fear and that kind of like plays with its victims, doesn't kill them outright, but just tries to keep them in this state of fear to feed on it, which are the will-o'-wisps. I mean, those are, I wouldn't say they're common, but they're more well known. They're the lights out in the swamps that try to lure the wanderer from the safe path into the darkness, only to then wink out and have them trapped in the dark, and then feeding on that fear that comes from that. So that was very similar in that sense. And will-o'-wisps are also aberrations, but that's where the similarities end.
Yeah, they don't look at all similar, but those
Yeah.
characteristics certainly raise questions or make them
Right, and
interesting.
I mean, you say they don't look at all similar. Will-o'-wisps are floating balls of, semi-visible skull, basically, in a shiny ball of fire. And this thing was a floating glob of eyeballs, semi-visible in an orb of darkness. So there's,
There's some common
similarities.
traits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like I can
Yeah.
see the connections.
Mm-hmm. All right, but after reading all of these horrible descriptions of fearsome creatures, you're like start up as a knock on the door um, surprises you, and you're glad to see that it's just the familiar shape of Ottardo and not a horror from beyond who comes calling to make sure that you're well rested for the next day. And we can skip ahead to the next day. Dum, 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 dum. Hold on. When early in the morning, once again, you wake up to the sound of heavy rain falling on the roof of wherever it is that you're sleeping. And you gather your pack, you have breakfast, and you meet up with the rest of the group, ready to start another day. What do you do?
I share like during breakfast with the rest of the group. I start like chatting away about. Strange. I was reading about will-o'-wisp and the similarities, and I'm just kind of like munching on toast and kind of thinking out loud and sharing my findings with the group.
Yeah,
Is there any way
anyone.
to fight will-o'-wisps?
You can give me, and anyone really who's part of this conversation can give me an occultism roll or a lore roll if you think that you have something that's suitable.
Public or
Yeah, private is usually better.
Yeah,
Comes
sorry.
through knowledge
I
checks.
normally try to do it in that way.
Yeah, that's all right though. Make them private, and of course nobody has to.
Oops, I meant to do.
Okay, we see Souma, we see Birke, Augrael, and Lucca. Okay. Okay, so as the conversation, so we're talking about the will-o'-wisps now, right? We're not specifically talking about this creature anymore. We're talking about will-o'-wisps because you assume that there's some sort of,
Will-o'-wisps.
that there's some sort of common commonality here. And, well, you know that that will-o-wisps have this shocking ability. Like, actually, all of the no, not yes, all of the damage they do is electricity. So if you can find a way to shield yourself from electricity, that would be a great boon when fighting will-o-wisps. Um, Other than that, you're not aware of any particular weaknesses, but you're also not aware of any immunities or resistances. And well, actually, that's not really true. Any physical immunities, I should say, because will-o-wisps appear to be famously immune to most spells. Only a handful affects them, and I believe we've seen that in this creature as well. I believe that Lucca tried to um, harm it with some of its spells, and it didn't seem to have any effect. But then a magic missile actually came through. So you know that that's actually another common thing that you are discovering in this conversation. It's like, oh yeah, you're right. Will-o-wisps also are immune to most spells, but not against magic missiles. So it checks out.
Is there any way to make yourself resistant to electricity? I'm guessing like knowledge of current and electricity is not as advanced as it is now. But like,
Well, that actually
would I
needs
know?
or Pathfinder 2E roll that I just failed. I'm sure there's
There should be some resistance, but we don't have it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there are certainly magical means to protect yourself from forces like lightning, which I presume is similar.
But like not
I
stand
am
outside in the rain. Stay away
Yeah.
from tall trees during a storm.
And
Yeah.
that, by the way, I completely agree. If we stay away from that thing, it will definitely not kill us.
Yeah, I think we stay away. That's my best protection. Let's just not go by that room.
But what was it doing there in a hidden room?
No, living there?
No, it must be protecting something, guarding something, or some sort of trap. Eventually, something will lead us there. Might as well go on our terms.
Such a powerful being. I mean, it feasts upon a fear like other wisps, so it seems. I doubt it would find much prey stumbling into a hidden hallway like that, so it must have been there for good reason.
Maybe it does go out to hunt people.
It didn't chase us, though.
Oh. But it did seem capable of passing through walls, so it could easily have come and gone from that chamber.
Yet it didn't.
As we know.
Either way, it's a menace and a danger, and we should not leave it there
It's
to feast on some other hapless adventurer.
Perhaps it was simply sated. You all did seem very frightened when you were in there.
And if we go there again, it will be sated very well once more.
In that room, just Simon to remind me, there was like a I want to say a video, but like there was some like thing that happened, right?
Yeah, there
I
was
don't remember.
Yes, exactly. Good
Okay.
memory. So what happened was you opened the door to this first room, which is like it seemed like the hidden room is probably like vaguely square or whatever, and the first room was just a quarter of that, and then there was a door that would lead to the next section. And in this particular section that you were able to look at, you found what must have once been a comfortable sitting room with two chairs and a low end table between them. And as you stepped in, there was this vision that played out, where Belcora obviously was meeting with an elf of some kind, but with purple dark skin and silvery white hair, and Belcora was speaking animatedly about something, like walking back and forth and gesturing wildly and looking off in the mid distance, describing something. And the drow was standing there and nodding along and seemingly like taking mental note of whatever it was she was describing. And it didn't have any sound, so you don't know what it was they were talking about. But that's what happened. You were very right. Good memory.
Yeah, I think Augrael's like, maybe it's linked to whatever we saw. Maybe it's guarding. Maybe that's her bedroom or her office or something, and maybe it's guarding that.
Well, it is all speculation until we investigate it again for ourselves in more detail, but
Yeah, much later, right? Like a year later, right?
well, it concerns me somewhat to leave that thing at our backs if we choose to continue onward and downward into the abomination vaults, if you will. But perhaps we have no choice. I'm not sure how we can hope to combat such a thing at the moment. It Perhaps we will find answers if we delve deeper.
But we tried delving deeper, and we were splashed with sticky goo from those floating monsters.
Yes, indeed. It seems that the one we encountered on the upper levels is not alone.
The deeper we go, more disgusting it gets. But maybe we should just burn it down.
Who would have known that these abomination vaults would be so filled with abominations?
This is not an adventure, I
Clearly,
imagine.
no one could have seen that coming.
It's a fine idea, of course, but I don't think that trying to set fire to the place will give us any answers, or ultimately solve anything besides perhaps killing off the more corporeal residents of the vaults. It seems that there are many of these ghostly beings, ethereal aberrations that are lurking in the depths, and fire may not cleanse them as you desire.
It will cleanse my soul, though.
So you discuss these things on the way out to the Gauntlight? Is that what I'm assuming? All right. So as you're leaving town,
Before I'm sorry. Before we leaving town, I think someone will put the wand of magic missile on the table. I think like, Lucca, can you use this?
Well, I certainly cannot.
Or I don't remember why.
Oh, actually, maybe I can. I think I do have access to some innate occult spells now, so perhaps I can.
Because I mean, I've spent some time like with this thing, so I've got the gist of how the magic missile spell working. So I no longer need it. So if you don't know this, we will more or less double our firepower.
Let me ponder that for a second. Simon, do you know if I can, if I have through an archetype have access to a different like tradition of spellcasting? Can I use?
I mean, it says you're trained in occult, right?
Yeah, I'm trained in it.
You're trained in it. You have access to occult spells, and I believe that's all it takes.
They're
Right?
they're only cantrips, but I can cast occult spells. Yeah.
Sam, you more knowledgeable about these things than me. What do you think?
Well, it's an archetype that eventually, even if you don't take the feat, eventually it would grant you spell slots
That's true.
that
Yeah.
are occult. I think it works. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. If there's a feat I can take, and I would get access to, I think, like first and second level.
Yeah. Basic
spellcasting.
benefits or something like that.
Yeah.
Basic
Okay.
spellcasting benefits.
But already before having those actual slots, you can use the.
I'm not entirely sure, but I think so.
Okay, let's just real quick look it up since we've.
I mean,
it's been a
because you could
while.
use a wand that was above your level, right? Like if I had, you know,
Yeah.
if I had a wand for divine casting that was above the spells I can cast, I would still be able to use the wand, right?
Above the level, yes, but I mean, but I feel like there's a difference between being able to do it at that level and being able to do it at all. But I guess you can do it at level 0 right now, or level cantrip.
Well, they're heightened. They do heighten to actual spell levels, right? Because
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do some research maybe later, or maybe someone can do it. But for now, let's assume that you can use it.
okay.
Which reminds me, by the way, Ala, you need to pick feats for Birke from the last level up. There's still some empty slots on your sheet. You don't need to do it right now, but maybe you want to do it right after the session, so you have it next time.
Awesome.
I will transfer this to Birke then. Drag and drop.
Lucca, you mean?
To me.
Yeah, yes.
What am I going to do with that?
I don't think you can drag and drop it because you don't own Lucca's sheet, but yeah, but you can drag it.
Create a spell casting item wand.
All right, so as you head out of town and you pass the wand over to Lucca, you make your way towards the Gauntlight, and you haven't yet entered the fog fen or the woods around Otari even. As you pass that stone ring pond, you haven't actually spent any time there yet. It's this circle of standing stones that's just it's just a short distance away from the main trail that you take into the woods. And as I say, it's raining heavily today, and you're all kind of, you are talking to each other, but I would assume that conversation is kind of slow as you're all kind of mentally preparing for what horrors you're about to face. And Luca, as you find yourself in that area, you hear this hissing sound. Psst. Don't know if it comes through my microphone, it probably gets filtered out.
Now we hear it.
Okay, so you hear this hissing sound that like, just keeps on kind of bursting, and you look up from the trail and you look to the side and you see some of the stones around that circle. They're like some of the standing stones that must have been there formerly, and maybe like concentric circles have toppled and fallen over. And as the rain hits some of those stones, it just kind of immediately evaporates, and that's the hissing sound that you hear, as if those stones are, scalding hot. And you see some blackening on the stone and some charring. And you're curious and you wonder and you like look to your group, maybe to draw their attention. And as you look back, it's gone, and the sound is gone too. And you're wondering, like, you just were. Now it feels less like something you've just seen and more of a memory. But from how long ago? And whose memory?
Lucca, I guess, will approach the stones and try to, especially the ones that were like hissing and the ones that look burnt, and see if there's anything about them that looks unusual or familiar, I guess.
Okay, so the rest of the group sees Lucca, you know, wander off the trail towards those stones. You let your hand slide over those stones. They feel cold to the touch. There's no more markings, no more blackening, you know, on the stones themselves that you just saw. What you think were moments ago, and you're confused because you've passed this multiple times. Your hut is not far away from this place, right? Your hut is kind of in this general area, and you've never experienced that.
Hmm. Is there anybody else here? I know sometimes, like the druids will be at the stones, or travelers, pilgrims.
Well, like I said, this is kind of on the outskirts of the actual stone ring pond, so because it used to be um, a larger place, a larger arrangement of stones, and what must have once been the core of this structure is now all that's left standing and that's left in use. So the actual stone ring pond is still a little distance away.
Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, Lucca will, like, I guess if he doesn't see anything out of the ordinary, he'll return to the rest of the group for now. Not sure what else he can do, but he just kind of catches up with the others, hustles a little bit.
Souma will, while we look at events, she will just make a holy symbol of destiny for a brief moment and pray to herself because, well, we're going back to Gauntlight.
All right, and you let Lucca catch up, and then make your way to Gauntlight Keep.
Sorry about that. Let us carry on. Burning daylight.
Yeah.
Thirsty? Go
What?
for a sip of the pond, Lucca? It was a joke because we don't drink water.
Oh, yes. Very clever, Augrael. Very clever. You're right. We don't drink water. Let's be along now.
All right. So
Much business ahead of
level,
us.
yeah, which level are we going?
Oh,
Should we try
Uh,
that awful stairwell?
the one where we just were, or
No, the one with the explodey, the abominations, as Souma put it.
Yep, seems like all the stairwells are
Yeah.
horrible here.
Not the infinite, not the Escher stairwell, but the big spiral one.
Yeah, I like that idea. Augrael immediately agrees.
well, I shudder to think what else we're gonna find there, but at least we're not gonna find another like floating eyeball. So I think that's a bonus in itself.
Well, we can't
Okay.
discount it. There could be two.
So this is the one where we were just last time, where we got
Well,
yeah,
last
where we
time,
fought
yes,
those. Yeah.
yes, but not last session. Yep.
Yeah.
You have been here before, yes.
Ottardo is just going to point out that above us we still have the horrible worm person and maybe some rooms unexplored.
Worm person. Yeah. Oh, you keep referencing this worm person that I was absent for. I'd love to meet this person and probably kill them.
So, do you want to go someplace else, or are we gonna?
We're already here. It seems a shame to,
All right.
Leave without killing someone?
Okay. So let me give you the lay of the land again here. So there's, first of all, just to orient yourselves, this is taking the staircase down where there used to be this barrier, right? That spectral barrier was in place, protecting this wide staircase that led further down, and that's what you descended to come down into this area here. The first room that opens up after the staircase, well, first of all, it's still covered in the rotting gore of the creatures that you fought here before. The stench is probably quite overpowering. or appetizing, depending on your level of ghoulishness. Um, the circular pit that you see in front of you is pretty deep. So deep that its bottom is lost in darkness, even those of you that might be able to see in the dark. Um, there's a crumbling staircase that leads around it, and further down, there's a kind of like a walkway with a um, twisted iron banister that follows the edge of the walkway. And it's not just that smell of the remains of these creatures that's lingering here. There's also a strong acrid smell of chemicals that is mixing in with it. Just a tinge of sulfur, maybe. And it's pretty clearly wafting up from the darkness of that pit. And if that wasn't enough, every now and then you hear some strange moaning sounds that echo up the shaft. There's also a door that leads to the west, and there's a doorway that leads to the east, and there's a third door that leads to the south.
I'm definitely not going in first. I will go step in step with Ottardo.
How do you do that follow again?
You hover and press F, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It did.
There you go.
I'm following precisely 18 feet behind Ottardo, apparently.
Well, Ottardo is going to give this room a try.
Okay. All right, so you can open up the door, and you peer into a dark chamber. The light throws a whole lot of shadows because there are many rusted iron chains that hang from the ceiling of the room itself, and each one is ending in an oversized manacle. The chamber itself, I'm not sure if you can already make that out. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, okay, that's better. As you move forward a little bit, you see that the chamber is octagonal, um, or at least its eastern end is, because it seems to be connecting to another chamber to the, or maybe even a set of chambers to the west. There is a circular pit which is covered by a rusted iron grate, and there are torn bolts and scrap metal that dangle from the ceiling above the pit. Piles of scrap actually fill a couple of alcoves in the west that open off the wide hall that is essentially the western end of the room. Um, all right, so give me a perception check as you move in here.
Everyone, or
Yes, everyone who's well, yeah. No, at this point, everyone is close enough to roll. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Um, yeah. So there's also sets of doors to the north and south. Like I said, those chains are dangling from the ceiling. Some of them are like gently swaying back and forth, maybe from the sudden draft of air as you opened the door. But Lucca, you spot some movement far in the west, where the octagonal room connects to that wide hallway, and you see just this swift movement of something stirring in the dark. You can't really make out a shape or anything like that. Just notice some kind of movement. And that's enough for me to go into initiative. So we can use those perception checks. I'll put them. Let me see. I think I can. I don't think you see the checks, so I can do that for you. As soon as I figure out how to do this here. Dip, 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 dip. That work? of you, great. And then we have one more. Okay. So essentially, Lucca, your turn is first, and there's a creature you can't quite make it out in the back half of this room, and it is currently hidden from you, and for everyone else, it is unobserved. So, what do you do?
Can I seek, or is it search? I can always get them mixed up. Can
It's seeking.
Can I seek it from here?
Yes, you can seek it. Here's a perception prompt.
So I've detected it enough to know that it's present, but I don't know exactly where it's at.
Mm-hmm. And I believe since it's hidden, let me double check.
Yeah, it's
Um,
I'm always trying to keep these statuses correct. It's hidden but not unobserved. It is
yeah,
observed.
and if you successfully
But it's
seek, you actually observe it.
okay. Well, I don't know. It took a 28 before. I don't know if I can kill it that well again, but
I'll tell you that this is good enough.
oh, nice.
Crit success. You're searching for creatures. Any undetected or hidden creatures critically succeeded becomes observed if you're searching for an object you learn its location. Yes. So it is observed to you, and you see kind of like peeking out from behind one of those alcoves, there is a figure. And even though it is very dark, I don't think you have dark vision, right? You only have low light.
Yeah, only low light.
Yeah. But it's the light is enough to see its humanoid in shape. But it's a strange one. It has it appears to be naked, and in the darkness, the light, it looks like its skin is blue. It has a completely bald head, and it's got this feral expression on its face. Um, it's more it seems more animal-like than human or human adjacent. Looks something like this because it is actually wrapped in rusty chains around its body. And it's observing you with this like growling expression on its face, as if it's just like a wild animal ready to pounce.
And is it a big creature?
It's a regular humanoid-sized creature.
Okay.
Medium, I should say. Humanoid is not a size, so
Okay.
medium.
It's a humanoid. Yeah. So that was my first action. Um, I guess I'll call out to the others. I'll say, oh, hold! There's a beast, a being in there of some sort, wrapped in chains. It looks quite malicious, hiding on the southwest corner of the room. So I'll use an action to point out, I guess, the creature. And then I will use my third action to cast Diabolic Edict, and I'll say, Ottardo, go check it out. And I'll back you up.
Comforting.
Okay.
I don't know how that translates to. I don't know what you have to do to just check it out.
Yeah, we'll see. Anything that furthers checking it out, I would say, is okay. Hold on. Let me give me a second here.
It is, of course. I can only cast it on willing creatures. So if you're not willing, it doesn't affect you.
No, it's fine.
Okay. Okay. So, Ottardo receives his order, so to speak, and Lucca, before Ottardo can actually act on that, you see that that creature, it like uses one of its claw-like hands, and it just does this sort of sweeping motion, and all of a sudden, some of those chains with those manacles, those rusty chains that are hanging from the ceiling, it's like a ripple goes through them, and a couple of chains right next to Ottardo start really like whipping out as if they were trying to strike him. So, Ottardo, you get targeted by that attack, and you get struck once. That's a hit, I would say.
Yep.
And okay, so there's a couple of things that happen. The first thing is you take 19 points of damage, which is piercing damage. And then I need you to make this fortitude save. And okay. All right. And then that was its first action. And Lucca, as you can still observe it, you see that it kind of keeps making this swaying movement, and another completely different chain that is up there lashes out at Soma, missing, and then a third one tries to strike Augrael, but also misses. And then it's Ottardo's turn.
So after Luca pointed it out, do we see the creature?
Well, you would have to seek because it's still hiding. You would have to spend an action to seek.
Okay, so it's just a bonus on seeking. Is that it?
No, it's I guess it's no longer undetected at this point, but it is
Okay, so it's hidden now.
it's unobserved for you because you. I guess he pointed out this. No, he didn't.
It says the creature is hidden to your allies rather than undetected.
Nice. Okay, yeah. So that makes it clear. So you would still take a seek action to be able to pinpoint it.
Okay. Well, I think just a question before that. The big manacles that you mentioned, are they
Mhm.
like sized for a large creature or something like that?
I would say all sorts of sizes. Some of them are larger, some of them are smaller.
Okay. Well, I think Ottardo is going to start by raising his shield. Let's get that going.
Mhm.
And then he is going to step forward a bit. And then seek with his last action. Is there a prompt or do I just roll?
I can give you a prompt. Hold on.
Are you checking it out?
There it
I
is.
Can you
am.
get a bonus?
Yep. +1?
Yeah,
Yep.
+1.
+1. Let me put that in.
You do not see it precisely. You can see that there's movement in the dark, but it's not enough to make it observed. So you know the square it's in because it's hidden from you, but you don't know exactly where it is. So you would take the 50-50 mischance.
Could you show which square is that currently?
I think I
Down
might be able
here.
to give it the condition. Yeah, but right now you don't even have line of sight to it. So
Okay.
he pointed out that square over here. Well, hold on. That square over here.
Okay.
Southwest, round the corner.
You have. I know you. That was 3 actions. Yep. Shield,
Yep.
seek, and move. Okay, Birke.
Uh, so I will try to recall knowledge. Why did I click that? Sorry.
Oh,
I will try to recall knowledge. What
Nice.
happened? What did I just do?
I don't know, but we all. It was a very dramatic thought
I
process.
think I'm right.
I just clicked recall knowledge by accident, and yeah, sorry. So I'm gonna try to recall knowledge on this creature whose weird glimpse and vanishing act I just witnessed.
Well, you haven't really seen it. It is still hidden from you, so you can't really see
Oh,
anything.
we caught a glimpse of it, no? Like with the chains and the
I
general
I
figure and
described
everything.
it. I described it.
Ah,
I said blue-skinned humanoid wrapped in chains.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
I mean,
you can do a check based on that description, but it'll definitely be harder than if you were actually to observe
yeah,
it
okay.
yourself.
No, then let's get inside. Open up first and try and spread out around the room.
Okay, so you
Better
step
our
over.
chances. And I know to prepare an action is 2 actions, right?
Yep. But you could, for example, now seek and then try your recall knowledge if you actually spot it.
Seek, right?
Mm-hmm. So I can give you a prompt for that. Here you go. Nice. All right. You do observe it. So you see this creature that I believe I've shown everyone before.
Mhm.
You can see it more clearly. You two get this impression that it's like more like a feral animal, as it's like hunched over and hiding in that corner over there. Yeah, and you see it clear enough to try recall knowledge without any penalties. That would be religion or any particular lore that might apply. Not library lore, though.
Let's try religion. So it says here in my thingy. Wait, where did I? So since I have outwit, I get I get a bonus to any recall knowledges about the prey.
Okay.
So that's a
But
plus.
but you would have to spend an action to make it your prey, I believe.
Yeah, but that's I think automatic because when I focus my attention on a single foe, wait, where is it? It's part of my ranger thingy,
Okay.
monster hunter.
Okay.
Yes, when I hunt my prey, I attempt recall knowledge about it like automatically. It's as part
Nice.
of the action to hunt your prey, I do a recall knowledge.
Awesome. Okay. And then you get the bonus because it is at the same time your prey. Okay, good.
Yeah. And wait, did I get another one? I think it's just that for now. Let's hope I clicked it right and it got the +1.
We got another +1 on that. Okay. Wow. Okay. So yes, you know some, or you thought you know something about this. It looks like a so-called Velstrak. You've read about them. They are they are well, it is a complicated creature to describe because they are essentially fiends for sure, and they manifest from the souls of masochistic or sadistic mortals who are judged by Pharasma and then sent on to the shadow plane. Velstrak come in plenty of different shapes and sizes, and this one here is the one that you've read multiple stories about. It's a so-called evangelist. You recognize it because they are the ones that look the most like humans. They're the same size, but it's such a typical characteristic to be wrapped in heavy chains that are actually kind of part of the body in a sense. So that's why you immediately are like, oh my God, this is one of those evangelists that you've heard about multiple times. However, what's weird to you is that these creatures usually are kind of, they're often part of hedonistic mortal flesh sculpting cults or wardens of horrific temples, but they've always been described as these like conniving, smart, um, definitely intelligent, if not if not like creatures with superior intelligence. So seeing one that is so feral, almost degenerate in a sense, that surprises you. Um, but
Very
that's what
strange.
it is.
It wouldn't happen to have been a critical success, would it?
No, but
Okay.
close.
Perfect.
Augrael.
All right. Augrael is going to, let's see. He wants to try and move to C, so he's going to move 5. And can he also try recall knowledge on this creature?
Yes, and also I completely forgot to give Alejandro actually something useful. So Ale, you can ask 2 questions about it before we do Augrael's check.
Okay. So I can see it's out of its element and behaving wildly. Does it look dangerous? Like, does it look like it's going to attack, or is it more like creature out of place that we can try and disarm?
Well, you didn't see it make its hand gesture to apparently control the chains, but you do know from the literature that they're capable of that. So it can probably make sense that those chains attacked you, because you know that they were controlled by this creature.
Uh-huh. Okay, and would I know if I could hurt it with my weapons?
Um,
Like this,
you know that if you had silver weapons, that would be a great boon, but even normal weapons should be okay. They're just not
okay.
as helpful. Oh, but you know that, I mean, normal weapons hurt them just like any other, but they heal those wounds very quickly, and only silver can overcome that regeneration.
I mean, unless we hurt it a lot very fast.
Yes. Okay, I believe that was 2 questions.
Mm-hmm.
So, Augrael,
Yes.
I think you need to seek it first, is that right?
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yes. Do you want to give me the prompt for that, or?
Yeah, I can give you that thing again. Here you go.
And is this supposed to be blind roll, or is this a public one?
You can do it blind.
Okay.
All right, but this is a success, so it is visible, or it is now just observed for you, so you can follow
Okay.
up with a recall knowledge.
Yep. What was the skill? Can I use occultism, or is it religion, or
It is religion.
religion? All right.
All right. Yes, indeed. Basically, you recall the same knowledge that Birke that I just told Ali
Okay.
about. And you can ask 2 questions as well.
Okay. Any weaknesses besides silver?
Yes, good. Good
Good.
aligned
Okay.
damage.
Okay. Okay. And any is resistances immunities one question? I'll do.
I'll count that as yes. I'll count that as.
Okay.
It is immune to cold damage.
Okay. He'll shout out. It doesn't like good, but cold doesn't hurt it. Keep it hot. And that will be our girl's turn.
Okay. Souma.
That wasn't a
Okay.
crit success either, was it? It's relevant for my thing too.
No, it wasn't.
Okay. Souma. Well, she doesn't feel particularly brave today, but she will start playing a very melancholic tune on her flute, which will bolster our defenses. Our defense.
Nice.
And I will try to make it lingering. The free action. So, and that's not linger at all. And
then?
I think I will just put another soothing in Ottardo. He doesn't.
Okay. Ali, don't forget to pull the Inspire Defense effect on Birke.
Thank you.
And then I believe that is Souma's turn. Lucca.
Where's Inspire? Oh, yeah, here it is.
I suppose. Well, this thing has made its hostile intentions known, so Lucca won't hesitate to step forward. I've forgotten how to do this on this platform. Hang on.
And stop. As you move over the grate, something happens.
I avoided it. I thought something might happen.
Wide, all my bones fall through. Oh!
I was very disappointed that everyone stepped around that.
You're welcome.
Yes. So here we go. So as you walk onto the grate, we'll give you a reaction. So you can use your reaction to grab an action, because so what happens is you step onto it, and as your weight like fully shifts onto the grate, it just gives way, crumbles, the rusty metal dissolves essentially, and you begin falling. And you're like reach for something to hold on to, but all the metal around you just kind of keeps breaking and crumbling. So let's see. We will give you the reaction, grab an edge. Your hand, you're not there. When you fall, you can try to grab it. You must succeed at a reflex save. So you can give me a. Here we go. I think that's the right prompt. A reflex save. Wow. Good job.
Either very lucky or very unlucky. I'm not sure which.
Very lucky. You rolled a 19. So you managed to avoid falling. You grab the edge. So yeah, essentially you somehow miraculously, maybe you hadn't stepped far enough onto it, so you managed to get to the actual edge of the pit, and finally it stops crumbling, and you hold on to it. So you still take damage from the distance fallen so far, but you treat the fall as though it were 20 feet shorter. If you have no hands for you continue to fall. But this is basically you avoid falling altogether. So now you're dangling from the edge of that pit. However, even though you manage to hold on, you look up as you hear like clunk, or let's say this. First you hear the metal that is falling down at the bottom of the pit go like clunk, 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 clunk. And you exhale even though you don't have to, just out of relief. But then you hear another kind of clunk, 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 and you look up and you see the rusty winch mechanism that was above that pit that is starting to like first shift and then fully come crashing down. And this is a basic reflex save now to see what happens.
Lucca just looks up and it's like, oh shit.
Great.
So where
Oh,
am I exactly at this point?
Great.
Uh,
Whoever said
so-
that, nice.
Great.
we'll-
Yeah. Oh, great.
We'll say you're here.
Don't forget to apply inspired defenses because I think it boosts saves.
It boosts saves and I think even gives you resistance to damage.
Inspired defense. Oh, I forgot that was on. Yeah. What it should be is yeah. If I was more on top of it when the metal starts to break, he goes, "Oh great!" and then he's hanging on. Then when he looks up, he goes, "Son of a witch!" Uh,
And so it begins. First of all, you take 24 points of damage as
Whoa!
the mechanism itself kind of comes crushing down on you and hits you hard, and then it dislodges your grip.
Oh no.
And since you have no reaction left, you can't use grab the edge again right now.
that's right.
So-
Yes.
So you fall, and
Oh, man.
let's see how far you fall. Dum, 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 dum.
Oh, I did it. It resisted 1 physical damage. Oh, thank goodness.
Uh, okay, so you fall about 25 feet, taking, nope, yes, actually taking this much, 20 points of damage as you hit the ground hard. And I can actually remove this now. So there's a little crashing effect here, and you come to a rest on the bottom of a octagonal chamber filled with rust and grime. And are you still conscious as you hit
Nope.
the floor? No, it knocks you out.
You
Okay.
said it
One
was.
hit point. I'm 1 hit point shy of consciousness.
You said it was 25 feet of distance?
Yep.
Because I think fall damage is like half the distance.
No, it's
Well, the fall damage is listed, so I assume that also like
Oh.
all that junk and metal and stuff
Okay.
is gonna potentially add to it. But
I thought it was
either-
5 points. I thought it was 5 bludgeoning damage per. No, what is it? Never mind. It doesn't matter. I'm unconscious.
yeah, like I said, it's listed explicitly here in this case. Okay, so I gotta get my bearing here because you are now actually on a different map because you fell an entire floor down.
Wow.
But fortunately, you're unconscious, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that was your turn. And then it's the creature's turn. All right, so Lucca fell down the shaft. It has been, or I guess it is obvious to the creature that it's been observed by a couple of you. So from its hiding place, it no longer really makes an attempt to stay hidden. So I'm going to remove its hidden condition as it kind of like bends around the corner and makes this this motion that is echoed by the chains that are dangling from the ceiling and like whips lash out at you. So the first one attacks Augrael, and here we go. Oof. Yes. So that is a 21, but it's a miss. And then we go for the second one. It actually doesn't have line of sight to Ottardo, so it'll be Birke that has the pleasure of getting struck by that. And misses, and then the third one goes to Augrael again. Missing 2. All right, you are a lucky bunch. And now, well, most of you, I should say. And then it's Ottardo's turn.
I'm assuming that Birke would have mentioned the weakness to silver.
Yeah.
Can you unpause us, Simon?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay, so first action will be to raise a shield. Next, Ottardo will drop his Warhammer as a free action and draw the silver hatchet that he is carrying around. And then he will stride forward.
Wow. Well. So, focusing on the immediate threat, you let Lucca, or you leave Lucca in his pit, and then stride forward and attack.
No, that's just stride. So it's shield, draw, and
Oh,
stride.
because you have to draw the weapon, right? Birke.
Lucca fell right before my eyes in a very dramatic fashion. How do I know like the creature is like a big threat, or is it medium threat, small threat? Is it like, oh shit, panic, or can I focus my attention on Lucca?
I mean, given what you've experienced so far, you take this very seriously, and you think the your three friends. I mean, given the fact that Ottardo has a silver hatchet makes you very confident, but
Yeah,
it
it's
might.
Ottardo.
Yeah, but it might. It's. I think you would think they need all the help they can get, but so does
Okay.
so does
So does Lucca. But
so does
I'm
Lucca.
putting my faith in Ottardo. I've seen him do amazing feats of strength. So I'm gonna take out my rope
Mm-hmm.
and what do I have to do to kind of like lower myself to get to Lucca?
Well,
Mention.
I mean, you want to secure the rope first, or do you want to climb down? Well, I can give you one
I
thing.
I
Okay, I
want to
can give you.
secure the rope. I am not climbing down with the rope.
Okay, so securing the rope, you look around. Um, I mean, some of those you could probably tie it to one of the chains that are dangling from the ceiling. Those are still seem to be pretty solidly anchored in the ceiling.
Yeah.
So that would be another action. I believe no, we are two actions. And
So
then with
secure the rope. It's one action.
yeah, but taking out the rope would be an
Taking
action.
out the rope. Yep, forgot that.
And then you could start climbing down, which means you must attempt an athletics check. And the level of the success tells us how far you can go.
So, let's do this.
Okay, so let me double check the difficulty here. It is dum 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 dum. Aha. So the pit is actually 40 feet deep.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's why there was so much damage. It's just that in that room below, it's 25 feet from the ceiling of that room to this room. So, all right. What's the climbing DC of this pit, though? I guess you can. I mean, it's probably a general DC because you can stabilize against the wall, stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure it's just a regular success, though. Or I don't know. Climb DCs are sometimes really low. So let's double check and check out climb. Sorry about that, but I thought that would be listed.
Yeah, the climb DCs are sometimes low so that it's easy for you to critically succeed and move
Yeah.
like a reasonable amount of distance instead of 5 feet at a time.
Yeah. I remember that in first edition it was also sometimes like DC 0 or DC 5. Okay, so here's a climb distance for the quicker answer how far you can move with a climb or swim action. Oh, no, that's based on the speed. Where are the DCs? Oh, there. You move up, down, right? Unless it's particularly easy, you must attempt the game with the base. flat-footed as you have a climb speed. You move up across 5 feet. You move up a simple climb task. Untrained ladder, steep stone, rigging a rope to wall with small ceiling with handles of foot walls. Oh, I see. Okay, so that's because of the DCs. Yeah, I'm still getting used to that. Those kind of like generic disease system that they don't list the DC in every section, but they just tell you like this is a DC for this particular proficiency. Okay. Yeah, so I think because at least for the first part, where the first 25 feet, where you have the wall to brace against and the rope, this is actually a critical success. So you move down 5 feet plus 5 feet per 20 of your land speed. So that's 10 feet for you. Okay, so you're moving basically 10 feet down into the pit. And you can see that 10 feet further down, that shaft opens up into a larger room. But that's a good start. So you can move your token and put it at minus 10 feet, whereas Lucca should be at negative 40 feet.
If I put minus 10 feet.
You can right-click the token, and then there's an elevation set on the top
I
left.
think I see it. Yeah.
Okay, Augrael.
That's what it is.
Okay. Augrael heard the crash, but then saw Birke rope and go down to save Lucca. So he's going to concentrate on trying to help Ottardo with this threat. First, he's going to stride up to it. And since he had a successful recalled knowledge, it's going to be flat-footed to him. When he will try and strike with the poor bastard. Oops, I did not do that publicly.
I can reveal it though, and that's a miss.
Oh no.
Oh, you said it's flat-footed. Right? You said it's flat-footed. That might actually.
It is flat-footed.
No. Yeah, but you missed by too much.
Okay. And I think he's just gonna swing again. He could shield himself, but he hasn't been hit yet, and he knows like they're outnumbered, so he's just gonna try and swing at this thing again. Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. It is a poor bastard. Okay, so we're gonna go with Souma next.
Well, we'll continue. Mournful tone of inspired defense. And try to make it last longer. There we go.
Nice. 4 rounds.
This will now 4 rounds. Nice. And we'll try to forward. My second action. Third action. Raise my shield.
All right. Lucca, you can try to stabilize, essentially. Can I prompt you for that? Unconscious, and dying. It doesn't give me the prompt here. But I think on your sheet you have the button to do it.
Yes. Recovery check.
And that's a fail.
Oh no.
Which reminds me, did you guys see that they errataed the remaster, and it's no longer the case that you have to add your wounded value to the...
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me.
That makes a bit of...
Yeah.
All right, the creature's turn comes up. Augrael is closing in on it, and that is probably good because Augrael, as you step towards it, and I mean, you didn't hit it, but at least you drew its attention because you saw that it was just about to reach out and kind of focus its gaze on that chain where Birke is currently dangling from.
Oh, okay.
But luckily, yeah, you draw its attention, and it turns around, and it fixes its gaze on you. Like you
Uh-oh.
fully see it, with in full light now. And what is horrifying is that its face is this feral mask, that blue skin with the almost feral, showing her teeth grin, but then kind of superimposed or switching back and forth with something is another face, and it's the face of someone of great significance to you that is long dead.
And
I
longer
don't
than
know,
Augrael?
if probably even longer than that. You might not even recognize it. I would say that you probably don't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
recognize the face, but it does cause an emotional response, and you can't even describe why. So give me a will save. And maybe the fact that you don't remember who this is shields
Yeah.
you from the effect, but it still leaves you stirred. So that's something that happened. That didn't really take an action though. So yeah, so this is the first thing that happens, and then it's gonna target you, and it lashes out with its arm, but it's actually the chains that swing around, those rusty chains, and they try to hit you. So we'll do one. That's a hit. So
I think I'm
oh,
gonna
excellent use of a nimble dodge
yeah.
because that turns it into a miss, and then we'll follow up with a offhand swing of another chain, and then one uppercut chain swing, but all of those miss. And the thing is kind of, working itself into a feral frenzy as it just keeps lashing out, all of those chains missing as you nimbly dodge them. Ottardo, your turn.
Ottardo is going to raise his shield, step up to the creature, and swing at it with the silver hatchet.
And your swing connects, it sinks deep into the blue flesh and does 9 points of damage, but apply it and you shall see, hopefully.
And do I
Oh, I
apply or
have
do
to.
you
I
apply?
guess I guess I have to because it's my token. And you see that it, like, where you hit it, I mean, it causes the flesh to split and the blood to spill out, but there's also this sort of, burning, hissing that happens around the wound, which you're sure is because of the silver, and it causes the wound to be much worse than it would otherwise be. Yeah, so that was third action, right?
Yep.
Step, shield.
Step, shield, strike.
Okay, so as you end your turn here, I will need a will save from you as well.
Okay.
And
Uh,
maybe as you connect, you like have this moment of confidence as you see how effective your weapon is, and you almost seek out its face to make eye contact and, like, you know uh, trying to make sure that it understands that it's losing. But then the face you meet is a completely different one than what you were expecting.
is that a fear effect?
It sure is.
Haha. Uh, oh, it doesn't stack with. Okay, well, that's still fine.
All right, and as you meet its gaze, the like I said, the face is a completely different one than what you would have expected. Putting you on a spot here, I know, but would you be able to describe which face it is? It is the face of a departed loved one. Do you have any
Uh,
idea?
I think given the circumstances, it probably would be like the knight that inducted him into the ranks of the revolution against Cheliax.
Okay, yeah, that's who it is. You see his face, and you see that face distorted in pain from the wound that you just inflicted, and it horrifies you. You kind of like pull back your arm. You're like, oh my God, didn't mean to do that, until you realize, like, no, this is just a trick of the mind, right? And you are frightened too. And then Birke.
So athletics checks to keep climbing down.
Yes, an athletic check is definitely in order.
Okay. Swish,
Okay,
swish, swish.
and that would be a regular success here, I think. Yes, it would have to be plus 10, so it's a regular success. You move 5 feet per 20, so you're now at negative 15. That was one action.
Yeah, I'm gonna do as much as I can to not be hanging.
Nice, that's another critical. So now you're at negative 25. So now you're really at that bottom lip essentially of the shaft, and then 15 feet down is the bottom of the actual chamber that's below that opens up under this shaft, and it's 15 feet. So you could let go and just try to fall that distance in a
Yeah,
controlled fashion.
I'm gonna do that with a
Okay.
cool roll.
With a cool roll. Okay, so that's first of all, it's a
Superhero
free
landing.
action. It's a free action to let go, and then it would be an acrobatic to avoid the damage from falling more than 10 feet. I've not done my
Okay.
homework on falling damage for whatever reason. Maybe I should have done that.
Acrobatic is not my best, but here goes nothing. Ouch.
Yeah, I guess that is some ouch. So I'm just gonna go with the old rules, which is a d6 for falling damage. Here we go. So it's 5 point of falling damage as you hit the ground and you land prone. And you land right next to right next to Lucca though, and you just like his skull is right next to yours. His eye sockets are black, and for a second there, you're worried that he is actually dead.
Oh wait, I accidentally took off a condition. I was wounded, but I took it off. But that might have been a mistake because I accidentally killed myself by trying to distract three
Yeah,
hit points.
you should not be wounded.
Okay.
You are prone though, and you
Yeah.
are the defense. Yeah. So you hit the ground, and since that was a free action, you can actually do something with your third action. For example, stand up or
Get up. Yeah. Get up and wipe my butt.
Okay. So you get up and get ready to check on
Brush
Lucca.
myself off. But like it was all part of the.
Yeah, it seems like nobody saw you, so that's
Yeah. I guess no, all good.
Augrael.
All right, back to me. All right, I'm going to keep trying to hit this thing. Seeing that Ottardo has hit it, he seems a little. I probably see him a little shook up, and I think I got to hit this guy too.
Yeah,
so he's going
you
to.
might be wondering, like, why does he not just keep hacking at it?
Yeah.
No, he used his actions, but still, that's probably
Oh.
do it. You miss it.
I'm gonna use. We have a hero point, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna use it here.
As a matter of fact, I believe I gave Ottardo an extra one for the session because of his
You
heroic.
Did I really roll
Yep.
the same one on my reroll? Yep.
Classic
All right.
hero point. Yep.
Classic. All right. I'm gonna try one more time before I. Oh man. And then I will. Starting to get a little worried that I can't hit this thing. He is going to shield. And that will be his turn.
All right. Arcane cantrip force. Does this have? It has a verbal component. Okay. Yep. Got it. All right. That was Augrel's turn, and you end your turn. So once again, let me double check. After attempting the save, the creature is temporarily immune until the start of the evangelist's next turn. Okay, so that's good. Soma.
Okay. Yeah, Inspired Defense still lingers on everyone. I've actually modified the duration of my effect, so it will no longer fall off automatically. Soma will move in just to actually see what's going on. That's probably bad position. But at this point, she tried to attack this thing, and she still plays a mournful melody, but now with a flick of her flute, picks up one of those rusty chains and sends it into the legally distinct fiend.
Legally distinct. All right, telekinetic projectile incoming hits. Yep. See the damage. Ooh, wow, nice. Okay, you strike it for 11 points of damage. Okay, that was your turn?
Yes, that move into actions.
Got it. So, Lucca, you have another chance to re-stabilize or recover. Anthony's muted.
Yeah, my internet went out for like a few minutes, so you might have to roll for me.
Okay, I will do that. If I can find it on the sheet again. Where was it? In your hit points somewhere, right?
It's right next to the death save. Yeah, it's like the top left corner.
Yeah, the one that's not labeled. Okay. I rolled a 5 for you. You're welcome.
Thanks. Okay.
So I'm going to increase your dying value to 3 now. So this is getting serious. Okay, the creature's turn. It comes up. And, well, what is it going to do? Yeah, as I said, it was kind of working itself into a frenzy. And now that Ottardo has heard it with the silver, it is going to single-mindedly just pummel Ottardo as best as it can. So swinging the chains that it has wrapped around its body. Some of it literally swings using its arms. Sometimes just some of the chains on her body seem to animate and lash out. But it's 3 attacks in total that will rain down on Ottardo. First one is misses. The second one misses, and the third one misses.
Wow.
So Ottardo, apparently, you've kind of like panicked it a little bit using a silver weapon, which clearly is so effective that it is a little off kilter here. And then it's your turn.
All right. Well, Ottardo will raise his shield again, and he will return the swings.
And
That's a
you
miss.
the first one?
And a miss too.
Oh wow, and that was a miss because you are frightened 1. That was the important.
Oh, that's why it's highlighted. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Cool.
And that one missed as well. Okay, so that's the end of your turn.
Mhm.
Which means that once again, yeah, once again, you accidentally make eye contact, or you behold its face, and it is still that night, just writhing in pain, even though you didn't connect, and just giving you this look as of like, why, Ottardo? But no, this is just it's just trying to trick you. You know that person is long gone, and you can't be to blame. Birke, you're at the bottom of the pit in the chamber below. It's pretty dark down here. There's just a tiny little bit of light, unless you brought light. I think you don't have light on you.
believe I have anything.
Yeah, so there's really just a tiny little bit of shadowy light that comes in from above. But it's enough.
Luca does have an ever-burning torch attached to his belt.
Okay, so
Oh.
he's basically, so we'll assume that he's always glowing in like a
You're a glow stick.
Yep. Okay, so then in the light that ever-burning torch sheds, I'm going to tell you that you find yourself in an octagonal chamber. There's a wide hallway that leads south, and there are doors to the west and to the east. But of course, you don't really have much time to take this all in because Lucca is clearly in a terrible state. What do you do?
Yeah. I mean, Luke is not even mortal, and even I can tell, like, the rungs are sticking out in the wrong angles.
Yes.
Um,
Give him
would
a help.
doing something like medicine kill him? Like try to stabilize him? Because he is dying, right?
I think he told us about the little vials that he keeps on himself.
Yes, the
He
vial.
did tell us that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
we
the
used
vial.
them
Dude.
on him at least once.
I do have well labeled emergency oil of unlife vials.
Oh, okay. So I'm gonna fumble through one of those and pour it in his face.
Save the skull is the important part.
So, I would say it's an action to retrieve them, and it's a second action to administer them, and then
Yeah.
Anthony, do you want to roll for it? Because you probably have the macro.
Sorry, I'm still trying to get back into Roll20 or
Oh,
to
okay.
the Foundry,
Um,
but I'm
assume that-
logging in now.
Okay, yeah, we have those. 30 seconds.
Um. Yeah.
Live.
Here we go. Come on. The little progress bar is filling up.
Good, good.
Everything is dark. I'm unconscious. I have in my inventory oil of unlife miner.
There you go.
We use
And lucky you, I took a
Oh,
penny
right.
for this mission, so
it.
Nice. Yeah, right. It's an oil, so you just have to crack it open and kind of just sprinkle it over his bones. Yeah, and you see some of his bones like righting themselves, and there's probably like a nasty cracking sound as they move back into position. And then yeah, Lucca's eye sockets flare up, and he's back.
now, my friend, no time to rest.
Oh, where am I?
They're in the bottom of a pit
Oh, again?
again.
Oh,
I know you mean well.
looks around. Oh, not that pit. Yes, okay, yes. Very well. Let's see. Oh, is that you, Birke?
I still have one action, right?
You have one action left, correct?
I don't want to know. Will it take me a long time to climb up the rope?
Well, it's just that first part to get up to the ceiling is hard to climb, so it probably will take you a couple of checks.
Don't forget to pick up the stuff that you dropped.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. I'll use the action to pick up, retrieve my stuff.
Yeah.
And
That's it.
yeah, that's it. I think we're gonna have
Okay.
to go through the doors, my friend.
What doors? He looks around.
Doors around.
Yeah.
Uh, resist the temptation of opening doors while you're alone.
Augrael is just he's in the zone right now. He is seeing Ottardo next to him fighting. He's just gonna keep swinging.
Okay, that's a miss.
It still is flat-footed to me. If I don't know if that adjusted enough, but
Miss by 2 when flat-footed is
2?
Is it 2?
But it was 1.
It is 2. That does adjust it enough. Oh wow! Awesome.
all right.
See,
All right.
you can roll for damage.
Okay. I think I need to roll it on my sheet because it has the where's the wait, yeah, it should be more than that because of my hold on. Yeah. What is that called again in this game? um,
I think it is sneak attack.
is it sneak attack still?
Yeah.
Can I find it
Yeah.
in my sheet? Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking for it. It's private. No.
Well, you can just just roll manually 1d6 for now.
Is it just another d6? That's right.
Sneak attack is a d6, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'll just roll
Until
a d6 for
maybe
now.
it's level 5. You
Yeah,
do
we
get
probably do
more
2d6.
at some point.
Yeah, I think it goes up a level 5, so I think it's 2d6, right? Yeah.
Yeah, sneak attack 2d6 at level 5.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, if I'm not mistaken, then Ale or Lucca and Birke should now be on a different map. Did that
We
work?
are. We are.
You pull them to the other scene.
Yes, I've never done that before.
I did this
Anthony, did that work for
yesterday
you?
for the first time.
Anthony, did that work for you? Because I only see Nulan listed.
Well, he might be not fully connected back yet.
Yeah, if he's not logged in yet.
Okay. All right, so Augrael did some damage. We have 22 to hit, 2 points of damage, and then 6 on top of that. Okay, so here we go. Takes 2 and then takes 6. Excellent. Okay, and then you end your turn, which at this point you are no longer immune.
Oh, I'm
to...
sorry. One more thing.
Yep.
I forgot I have a weapon trick now. So, oh no, it's
Alright.
critically sticky. Never mind. Scratch that.
Okay.
But I still do have 2 actions left because I just attacked once, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go for it.
So I'm gonna attack one more time with the map, and then I will probably shield again. Yeah, that'll miss. And I will shield with my last one.
Okay, then now you end your turn, and once again you accidentally make eye contact, and you need to roll a will save. And I should tell you that there's actually an action called Avert Gaze,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
costs an action, but it gives you a bonus to a save against a gaze attack like that. So just you're aware of your options here.
Okay, I like that. I think in this case, Augrael, especially story-wise, has no reason to. He's just like, that's weird. I don't know who that is, but that.
It makes me feel uncomfortable, but who cares? All right, Soma.
Okay, Souma continues playing, but this time she will cast a different spell with a flute. As she plays a mournful melody, the end tip of her flute ignites and starts leaving pale blue dots in the air. And with this, I cast missile from the third slot. Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yes, I mean the third slot. With all 3 actions.
All right, let's roll that damage. That should be quite the.
That should be 6, right? 1. Oh wait, I can actually put all 6 of them. This damage. Force.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Can't you just hit and roll damage? Do you need to do anything special?
I can add the dice. That's gonna be 4 already. 5. This.
There we are. Okay. Oh wow, 13 points of damage come
Yeah, that's actually
crashing by.
that should be even more because it's +1, but there is everyone is so it's not 13 is 18.
It's 5 points more. All right. So 18 points of damage as this barrage of magic missiles uh rains down on her. Okay. Lucca. Uh and Anthony, let me see. Are you logged into Foundry again?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, so I should be able to pull you to that other scene now. You should find yourself on a different map.
We're in a different place.
Is that working?
It's still loading. There we
Ah,
go.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh dear. Hmm. Well, at least there's no foes. Let's open some doors.
Let's just try to find the rest of the party. And get into as little trouble as we
Yes.
can.
Well, we would do best to go up, I believe. Birke, I don't suppose you can carry me.
How heavy are you? You're
I'm
just
just
bones, right?
I mean, I'm just bones and my gear. I'm actually really not that heavy.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I could probably carry you.
My inventory is 3 bulk and 8 light, and I believe I think we've encountered this before, and we assumed that Lucca had the bulk of a light creature, which is another 3. Or sorry, of a small creature, not yeah, that's what
Yes,
I meant.
I believe that's correct.
So can you take on 6 bulk and 8 light and then climb up a rope?
Probably
I mean,
not the rope, but maybe a few steps.
you might be able to. Birke is pretty strong.
I'm tough,
So
yeah.
You
I
would
mean,
be
yeah.
you would
better at
probably be
athletics than
encumbered.
acrobatics, so yeah.
Yeah, you'd probably be encumbered, but you
I
probably
mean,
wouldn't
I would be
be.
carrying a sack of bones, so understandably
Yes.
encumbered.
Look,
Yeah,
just bundle up my cloak and I'll just throw me over your shoulder.
Oh,
You're like Yoda
I
on loop.
literally love the idea of having like a skeleton backpack, just accompanying me in a dungeon. it's like something I've always wanted. Thank you.
All right, so yeah, I'll give you the encumbered condition as you shoulder Lucca, and then you kind of like reach up for the rope that is, I think, pretty much just barely dangling down to where you can reach it down here. I think it's a 50 feet rope probably that you have. And
My internet keeps cutting in and out. I don't know what's going on, but
yeah.
I'm
All right.
just gonna.
So as you reach up, oh wait, hold on. Whose turn is it? Because my encounter tracker passed out. So I think it's Lucca's turn. So yeah, Lucca, you basically
It
just
is,
climb
yeah.
you just climb onto Birke and go full koala bear on her.
Yeah. All
And
right,
then,
up.
yeah,
And
my
start
my
laying
son
it up.
my son loves to be carried up the stairs when it's bedtime, so I always just ask him backpack or belt pack. So I guess that
You say
I'm willing
backpack
to give
instead of
that line.
rucksack.
I'm,
You've
I'm
become
willing to give that
Americanized.
willing to give that line to Birke if she wants to use it.
Come on, uppies. Let's go.
Uppies.
All right, so it's the creature's turn, and let's see, does it have anything up its sleeves that it wants to use? There's not a whole lot. It is just furious at this point, and it's gonna and frustrated because I believe its last flurry of attacks missed entirely. So it has continued to just try to rain chain strikes down on the bearer of the silver hatchet. So there is the first one missing because of inspire defense and steel shield with ally. Second one also misses for the same dang reasons.
Wow.
Why do you have friends? And the third one too. Wow. Okay. Yeah, so I guess, Ottardo, you're really feeling the support of Soma's song here, and multiple times you see those chains coming in, and you kind of surprise yourself by how quickly you manage to bring up your shield to ward off the blow, and you realize that you would have not been able to do that without the inspiration that Soma is giving you. And then it's your turn.
Well, the shield is doing its work, so raise that up and swing again. Ooh,
It's
Yeah,
a
Nice.
real second
I
wind
guess
we're catching here.
emboldened by that thought that you are not alone in this. You have your friends behind you. You strike it for a measly 10 points of
Oh,
crit damage.
a one.
But that is actually gets turned into 20, right? Because the weakness gets applied twice. Is that right?
I don't think so.
It should account, I believe, for.
Well, the weakness gets applied at the end, so it's 10 plus the weakness.
Mm. Okay, that's a little disappointing then. Okay, but we'll just apply it. And it is still, it's badly injured. Third action, the strike misses. Okay. Then you end your turn, and I'm gonna need another will save.
Even if he succeeded before, there's no clause that says that
Yeah,
you
it
get
is.
immune or something.
No, none at all.
Okay.
I think you made me not roll the when I succeeded though.
Yes, because that was when it takes an action, it can focus its gaze, and then it'll
Oh,
have
okay.
then it'll have a worse effect. And that
Got it.
only resets once she gets her next turn. So you're immune until her
Got it.
next turn. So that's that. All right, but you succeed, Ottardo, so you're okay. And then it's Birke's turn. Okay, so Birke, you have Lucca shouldered. I already made you encumbered, which means you're clumsy, so you get some penalty to dex-based checks, which I don't think matter. Oh, actually, skill checks using yeah, but it doesn't apply to athletics.
Yeah, it's
So,
acrobatics is screwed, but I'm not being acrobatic. I'm just huffing it
all
up
right,
there.
let's see that roll athletics check.
Let's go. Uh-oh. Not a
Well,
great roll.
yeah, but it's still a 14, so that is actually still a success, a regular success. So you kind of like fish for that rope and you start pulling yourself up. And so it's 5 feet per 20 feet of your land speed, which is reduced by 10 because you're encumbered, so your current land speed is only 10. But since the minimum is 5 feet, you basically just kind of like awkwardly pull yourself onto the rope, and you manage to just barely get your knees around it so that you don't slide down immediately. That was action one.
And let's keep climbing.
So you're 5 feet up at this point.
Yep.
This is going to take
Take a while.
several
Yeah.
That's oh,
rounds.
see, well, not if I
Well, we'll
critically
see about
succeeded.
yes, but you move 5 feet plus 5 feet per 20 of your land speed, and since you don't have 20 in your land speed, I'd say it's still just 5 feet. So you're now at 10 feet.
Okay, we just need to do this 3 more times.
Well, you need to make it one more time
I mean, 3 more
to
turns, I mean.
to get it to an easier
Just keep
to get to
going.
an easier deck.
You've
Yeah.
got this.
Okay. You got this. Come on, come on.
All right, and you
3
make it.
again?
That's another 5 feet, and you make it to the shaft. So the next few checks are going to be easier.
Right, we're getting there. Now I can use my legs kind of like to brace myself against the wall at least or something.
Yeah, exactly right.
You've really been working on your notes. Says Lucca, clinging to the back.
Ever helpful. Okay, so let's see. I'm putzing around here with the elevation, but you should be now at negative 25 feet. And having Lucca shouldered. Okay, that was your turn. Augrael.
Augrael's gonna keep doing the same thing. He's gonna swing. Man, I cannot hit today. Swing one more time. Oh, okay.
There's your hit.
There we
Okay.
go. Damage. Plus G6. I'll figure out how to get the sneak attack to apply automatically.
Okay, but nonetheless, oh, the sneak attack is pretty good this time.
Yeah. And then he will shield again at the end.
And she's still flat-footed because of that initial.
Yeah, I think it's a minute.
Oh, okay. I was gonna ask, like, does that ever expire?
Yeah, let me double check just to make sure, but I think it's a minute. Yeah.
All right. So that was 2 actions.
Yep, and then I'll shield for the last one. I accidentally
Okay.
closed that window.
Gotcha. Souma.
I think this the round when Inspire Defense would run out.
Yep, this is round 5, so that would be.
So I will just.
Well, it should be one more round because you did Inspire Defense in round 1, and then in round 2 you did it again with the critical lingering effect. So I think round 6 is when it.
Okay, so I will start renewing it on the next ones. So this time we're actually doing just fine. I will try to do tilt well and yes, and then I will just cut.
Okay. All right, Lucca, you're feeling pretty good where you are.
Yeah. Lucca's like, is there anything I can do to help back? Do you need a little shoulder massage or something while I'm back here?
A pep talk.
Oh, yes. Well, you're doing splendidly. I'm very impressed by your athletic prowess.
Do you want to take this
I-
chance to talk about the thing that's bothering us up there? It's making everyone crazy with fear, and it's not the only one.
Oh, well, to be fair, I didn't actually get a chance to. I mean, I saw it, but I don't really know what it is. So.
Well, whatever it is, it does not like silver weapons, and you are heavier than you look. I drank a lot of milk when you were a child. There's a lot of calcification in you.
Well, I may have a couple of one or two ogre bones in here. They're a bit denser than some of the others, so an ogre finger bone actually works quite well as like a fibia, believe it or not, as long as it's close enough.
Birke's actually like interested in this. This like, oh well, this I did not expect this to turn into an interesting conversation. Ogre bones, tibia. Yeah, I can see that.
Yes,
So,
it's
as Lucca and Birke are having a nice little bonding moment, climbing up the shaft. Up here, the battle is still raging, and the creature continues. Yeah, it's like it has its back to the wall. It's just it is and it's in mortal danger, and has nowhere to go but through Ottardo. So once again, it lashes out, and this time it actually hits and does 15 points of damage.
Ottardo is going to use his shield to block some of that.
Okay. You block some of the damage, but some of it still makes it through. And then it comes up with a second chain strike, which misses, and then the final strike misses as well. And then it's your turn, Ottardo.
Raise a shield, and then return the favor.
All right. So after its last like outburst with lashing out, you see it in front of you. It's like breathing heavily, It gives you this intense stare once again. There's still the face of that of your former knight commander, but it's kind of like fading out. You see more of its real features in front of you, and then you lift or you raise the hatchet one last time. You bring it down, and you strike the creature dead.
Nice.
Shunk. And it goes down. And moments later, Birke and Lucca. So Birke emerges from the pit. And it's like, oh, so a tibia and a femur are actually.
Pretty much, yeah.
If you get a sufficiently large metacarpal, it actually is a fitting substitute.
What about the joint?
Well, you may have noticed that all my bones just kind of hover close to each other. The joint so much doesn't actually matter.
It must
There's
be
no
nice not
cartilage.
having joints as you're. And like I feel all my joints as I'm tugging my own weight and yours up. That's, must be nice not having joints. Everything else.
Really, the bones are really more of an afterthought. You see, it's just sort of a pleasant. Well, it helps me feel more. How do I put this? Present. To have everything in place the way that it should be.
Yeah, certainly feel present hanging on from me.
Yes.
All right.
Oof. Oh, okay, there we are.
So Lucca climbs off of Birke's back. Lucca is no longer encumbered. Lucca is no longer prone. And the rest of the group, I'm sure, is relieved to see Lucca. Well, I mean, heavily injured, you can tell, but at least conscious and talking about his favorite topic. That's 120 XP for each of you.
Oh, nice.
128.
Nope, just 120.
Ah, 100. Where did I get that final 8 from?
There's no need for anyone to worry. I'm sure you were all terrified at my absence here. Without me to slay the terrible monster, I'm sure it was hard work for all of you. But I am back now. I assure you, I shall be much more careful the next time I see a metal grate in the middle of the floor.
Yep. And if you to push someone up.
Oh.
Souma will produce the skeletal bonding tools.
Yes, thank you very much. And thank you to you, Birke, of course, for recovering me, sparing me from considerable embarrassment in the afterlife.
I will.
Just watch your step.
Since I think I'm an expert in medicine, I will try to use DC 20.
While Souma is doing that, Ottardo is going to try to grab some of those chains and maybe secure the doors so that nothing can just barge in while we're taking a break.
Yeah,
What if we need to go out in a hurry?
Then we can just go down. Oh, that's
We
not
can go
where
the way
that
we
goes,
came.
Souma.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, did you hear that question? So as Ottardo is kind of like tying some of the chains into the handles of the door, so to make it so that they're kind of.
I mean, I'm not.
We do have the exit through here.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
it certainly
trust
worked.
you.
All right. Also, I mean, you probably already expected this, but none of the chains lash out now that this strange creature has been put down. And it's just a really creepy room full of rusty dangling chains with manacles.
No, do not bother, Souma. Well, actually, I may need it. Let me do this first. Actually, is everyone's in pretty good shape up here?
other than
Okay.
you.
Well,
Yes,
look, allow me to harm myself first.
So as Luke is harming himself and Suma is attending him and everything, would it be possible to take like a really quick sketch of the creature and just jot down like some of the first-hand experience from Ottardo and Augrael?
Does that mean
I want to.
you're taking a 10-minute break here, or
Are we taking a 10-minute break?
Well, if Soma is doing the healing thing, that's a
Tree
10-minute
wounds,
break.
yeah.
So I guess everybody is
Then yes.
doing their
Yeah.
own 10-minute thing.
Because I
okay?
want to keep a monster journal to bring back to
Yeah.
to
More Blinter.
more breed more breed.
More
Morley.
Yep. No, sure, you can do that. I mean, your sketch probably won't be very good because I don't think you have any
Exactly.
skill
Yeah,
like, so it'll be
the sketch is quite rough. It's mostly like the description and the first-hand accounts of those who
yeah.
encountered it. Like I'm not
But you,
really going for like a drawing, just
right.
basically just writing down characteristics. So like long-limbed, skin color, chains, those kind of things.
Yes, you can certainly
Birke
do
is
that.
no artist.
Yep. Yep, you can do that in those 10 minutes while the others refocus and rest up a little bit. Okay, 10 minutes later. What do we do?
Well, Ottardo is going to take a look around the room, see if there's anything of use or out of the
Yeah, that's what
ordinary.
Augur. Yeah, Augur would have been doing that during the 10 minutes too, since he wasn't doing anything else, just making sure
Yeah,
nothing else is gonna pop up. Or yeah,
right, looking through the room. No, it really looks like uh I mean there's just a bunch of scrap metal around. You see all of those torn bolts and stuff that are have been discarded, tossed aside into those alcoves. You can kind of see remnants of some sort of metal contraptions that are lying around. None of them like look like they were used for anything useful to you. Most of them have like blades and rusty pointy bits to them, so uh, you have some ideas what they may have been used to when they were working, but nothing is still useful here.
okay.
Luke is about to take a step forward and he sees this chain strung across the way and he's going to very suspiciously poke at it with his staff.
Yeah, it just dangles a little bit. It's pretty rusty. Nothing bad happens.
So our only two exits are up or down. Is that right?
Yep, north and
Or the
south.
way we came. Okay.
Right. Or down the shaft.
There's a long hallway and there are many doors in the room below here.
We need to focus on doors that we can open here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, suit yourselves.
Ottardo will undo the chains that he added here and then try the door.
All right, yeah, you can do that. Open the door, or both of them, if you will. And you, yeah, find this doorway, and you keep moving. And then right next, or at the end of this hallway, there's another hallway going kind of perpendicular to this one, and you turn to the left, where there are a couple of cells lined up against the southern wall, and you can see the bars are only like a couple of inches apart, so it's clearly like prison cells. Um, and as you walk down that hallway, kind of like passing those cells, you see that the locks seem to be um, still holding, so none of the cells are open. And there is like each one of those cells is just filled with rotting flesh and shattered bone, which Augrael might be kind of enticing to you to see?
Yeah, I
Does it?
think he's like looking up there and like looking through. I'm like, what is in there?
Yeah, and and especially in the center one, like there's a whole pile of fleshy muck that is just lying there, and you notice something glittering in there, and you're like, "Ooh, is this fresh blood, maybe?" But it's actually a key that is kind of like stuck in that pile. And
Oh,
do you point it out to the others?
he's gonna start trying to open the lock and say, "There's something in here."
What's in
Because you
there?
said they're locked, right?
So I'm gonna say what's happening is like you turn around swiftly to tell you, oh, there's something in here, and the rest of the party looking at those cells just the way that you stand right now. Maybe Birke needs to catch up with the rest and position herself. I'll just move her over here. Um, but yeah, the way that you stand here lined up, you see Augrael like standing next to that cell, facing you and saying, "Oh, there's something in here." And in those three cells, you see all of those piles of flesh and rotting um, body parts and entrails and just general gore starts to animate and just kind of rise up into a heap of horrific remnants of former flesh and blood. And it not only rises it up in this terrible, horrible way, it actually starts moving forward, and you feel pretty safe being outside the cells. But as it hits the bars, it starts to ooze through the gaps between the rungs, and you can see it like just push itself through and then come coalescing together once it is through, and it's starting to move through the cell doors and into the hallway. And that's where we're going to pick up next time.
Oh, very great.
Ay, ay, ay.
Damn.
Thanks for going north. I was hoping that we could end on that.
That was great.
Yeah, those things are really gross. Oh, you got
Well,
the Terminator thing.
yeah.
Yep. Oh, yep. That's good. That's your version of it. Okay. Yeah, excellent.
Fun
All right.
session.
Yeah, thanks for